NBC is trying to tell you that what you see in reality, what you view on the internet, and what people are telling you is not true. Most people think U.S. crime is rising, but they're wrong. You're just not getting it. So in this article, they're trying to tell you that crime in the United States has declined significantly over the last year, according to new FBI data. And I'm going to get into this data thing in a minute. But I want to go over and kind of summarize this article. This contradicts a widespread national perception that law-breaking and violence are on the rise. So the stuff that you see and the stuff that you're personally experiencing and that you're watching, it's not real. It's all fake. The FBI data, which compares crime rates in the third quarter of 2023 to the same period last year, found that violent crime has actually dropped 8%, while property crime fell to 6.3%. To what would be its lowest level since 1961, according to criminologist Jeff Asher, who analyzed the FBI numbers. Now, that just sentence right there, in and of itself, do you believe for a second that property crime is at its lowest level since 1961? Do you believe that for a second? Forget about FBI crime statistics. Forget about all this stuff. Do you believe for a second that crime like that has dropped since 1961? He goes on to say, I think we've been conditioned and we have no way of countering the idea that crime is rising. It's just an overwhelming number of news media stories and viral videos. I have to believe that social media is playing a role. So again, news media and stories of viral videos, which essentially means that, yeah, a lot of people are seeing them because there's so many of them, and the crimes themselves are shocking, and people can anecdotally say, yeah, that I've experienced that myself. I know people that are experiencing that crime. I see it myself every day. I'm afraid to go into the cities. I mean, just take a look at LA, New York, San Francisco, Houston. I mean, Houston is an absolute disaster, but you don't hear about that all that much because it really is that bad. The most recent annual report released in October covered 94% of the country and found that violent crime in 2022 fell back to pre-pandemic levels, with murder dropping 6.1%. Detroit is on pace to have its fewest murders since 1966. I don't think there's anybody left in Detroit. Is there anybody that's even there anymore? What about people dying of drug overdoses and things like that? They don't talk about that stuff. Now, here's where it gets interesting. FBI data doesn't have a separate category for retail theft. It falls under larceny, which declined overall last year. According to the latest numbers, retail theft is widely believed to have skyrocketed in some cities, and the industry says that it's at unprecedented levels. The industries are telling you that, but he's saying that the data doesn't necessarily support that thesis. The industry is telling you that they're getting broken into all the time. I'm sure they're reporting that to the insurance companies. Some of these companies are firing their employees that are actually calling the police on people that are walking out with merchandise. You see video after video after video of people just simply walking out of stores with merchandise. These are things that you've never seen before. But again, it doesn't fit the thesis. So they continue to try and gaslight you here and say, so why are Americans' perceptions about crime so different from the apparent reality? Your apparent reality. Asher believes that there is a measure of partisanship at work. It's the Republicans. The Republicans are making this out to be a bigger deal than it really is. So it's all about politics. This is really funny. My neighbors never post on Nextdoor, which is a website for people in neighborhoods and things like that, how many thousands of packages they successfully receive. Listen to this. he wrote recently. Only video of the one that randomly got swiped. So, in other words, we should be paying attention to all those packages that successfully get delivered to your front door, not the ones that get stolen. Why would you post the ones that are getting stolen? That's bad. You shouldn't do that. That actually just, that's, I guess, I mean, what do you say to that? And of course, they leave this to the bottom of the article because they know most people aren't going to read it. Videos of flash mobs on shoplifting sprees or carjackings in broad daylight are more ubiquitous, even if those crimes are not. Meaning they're happening all the time, but that sentence really doesn't make a whole lot of sense. These outlier incidents become the glue people rely on when guesstimating whether crime is up or down. This is one of the most ridiculous articles I've ever read. And it's pure propaganda. Because there's another article that I found extremely interesting. Many large U.S. police agencies are missing from FBI crime data. Listen to this. For more than 100 years, the FBI, this was done by the Marshall Project. So this is a group that goes in and actually pays attention to FBI crime statistics and data. Now, remember I was talking about New York and LA earlier. For more than 100 years, the FBI has been collecting crime data from local police departments across the country through the Uniform Crime Reporting Program, which has been the gold standard of national crime statistics. By 2020, almost every law enforcement agency was included in the FBI's database. Some agencies reported top-line numbers, such as the total number of murders or car thefts, through the summary reporting system. Others reported granular incident data with details about each reported crime through the newer National Incident-Based Reporting System. Then it all changed in 2021. In an effort to fully modernize the system, the FBI stopped taking data from the old summary system and only accepted data through the new system. Thousands of police agencies fell through the cracks because they didn't catch up with the changes on time. What does that mean? More than 6,000 law enforcement agencies were missing from the national crime data last year, representing nearly 1/3 of the nation's 18,000 police agencies. This means a quarter of the U.S. population wasn't represented in the federal crime data last year, according to the Marshall Project's analysis. The old summary level data reporting system, retired in 2021, was also revived last year when the FBI announced that it would accept data through it again. It's unclear how many police agencies took advantage of the opportunity because the participation data is not available yet. But many states like Illinois had already planned to phase out the old system. So getting to the crux of this and the bullshit from NBC News, many of the largest police departments like NYPD and LAPD are still missing. Some large police departments began to report data to the FBI again in 2022, like Miami-Dade. But the two police agencies in the U.S., the largest police agencies in the U.S., NYPD and LAPD, are still missing from the federal data. So when you see a lot of these viral videos and you see a lot of these crimes that are taking place, who's actually doing it? Well, it's in LA and New York. That's where it's happening. And what is unbelievably interesting is here you have a fight breaking out in LA. Guess who's getting into that fight? This is Ian Ziering from 90210, man. This TV star is taking on a bunch of bikers in a road rage incident.
Watch the car! Watch my car!
This is unbelievable what I'm watching right now. If Ian's Seekring from 90210 getting into a fight with all these bikers. I mean, this is great. Ian Ziering takes on multiple bikers by himself in LA, which appeared to be a road rage incident. Los Angeles is a mess, as always. Here's the thing that, again, NBC News doesn't want you to see. These are democratically run cities, democratically, federally run country. And everything is a disaster and a mess, but they want to sit there and tell you that, hey, well, all this stuff that you're seeing, it's all lies, man. It's not really that bad. So Ian Ziering is a victim of a bunch of people coming out. Look at it. Look at the way these guys are dressed. It's one guy trying to trip him. They're all taking him on at one time. And they're all getting their asses beat, swinging and missing. This is ridiculous. Look at this chick. This is unbelievable. But there you go. But this incident here that you're seeing, this is not, it's not true. I mean, it's a lie. Like there aren't a bunch of thugs out there just beating up people. Here's Ian Ziering from 90210 getting into a fight. He's 59 years old, getting into a fight with a bunch of dirtbag bikers in LA. Handling himself very well, might I say. So there you have it. More lies from the left, more gaslighting from the left, more, you have the government lying to you and using the media like NBC, ABC, CBS, MSNBC, CNN, you name the alphabet network. They all lie to you. And this is just another example of trying to tell you that everybody thinks that crime is up, but it's not really. It's been better. It hasn't been as good as it has been in the 60s. And we all know that it's a lie. And it's time for people to wake up and start spreading the word to everyone. And I know it's not an easy task, but look at all these little bikes too. This is what's funny. They're all like little baby, like mini bikes, the ones that are in Dumb and Dumber. Is that what this is? The Dumb and Dumber Bike Club. So, but yeah, you got to spread the word. You got to talk to people. And I'm going to be putting together like a pamphlet book or whatever. I'm not sure how the format's going to be, of like all these different talking points and all these things to basically win a political argument with someone. Because as long as you have all the information, you have all the talking points, it makes it a heck of a lot easier to be able to win those arguments and potentially convince people that, we've had enough. We've had enough of Democrats. We've had enough of their lying. We've had enough of their gaslighting. These are a bunch of just communist scumbags, and we need to get them the hell out and get somebody else in office like Trump to clean it up, and then somebody better than him later on down the road to keep it that way. If it's your first time here, be sure to subscribe, like the video if you learned something, and I'll see you all in the next one.